Gaffer, nice short trip for you this weekend, off to Tranmere Rovers. They've had a really good start to the season. We've had a good start as well. What kind of change are you expecting from them at the weekend?
Yeah, listen, they've been good at the start of the season. They've had some good results, you know, away at, I think it was Colchester and home against Shrewsbury, you know, good win for them last week. They look very threatening going forward, you know, and I think we've got to respect that. You know, they scored 4 goals. You obviously have got to have a look at that and see why that was the case. And yeah, we're going to get off again early. We travel well together. Looking forward to it. You know, I think we've hit the ground running this season. Really have. You know, the boys have bought into everything I've asked for, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game this away from home. And it's always the case is kind of bring something back. Hopefully we can get all 3 points. That's what we're going for. But again, we've got to be wary. I think Tranmere under Andy Crosby are a different animal to what they were, and we've got to respect them. Yeah.
Just reflecting on the other night, I know you were disappointed not to go through in the cup, but the performance gave you a lot of heart, a lot of spirit. We go there with good momentum. How important is it to keep that? Because once you lose it, sometimes it's difficult to get back.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic the other night, Phil. You know, really, really good. I couldn't have asked for any more effort from the boys. We changed the team up slightly, not massively, but 6 changes in there I think was what it was. And you know, you don't see a drop in level, which is great. You know, it really is good. So we've got something special here. Like I say, that tighter squad. Everyone feels like they can feel the first team. They want to play in the first team. And my big thing is there is no drop of level. You know, whoever I pick, you know, it stays steady because we're on a good run. You know, staying unbeaten was really good. You know, we lost the penalty shootout, which can go either way. You know, it's crazy, and I'm still, you know, some bizarre stuff going on. But we're really happy where we are as a group, and the boys are in a good place. They're really positive. They're really happy. I think the fans are right behind us, know what's going on, know what we're trying to do here, and yeah, it's early days. It really is, and I keep saying that, you know, at the time when we get maybe a knockback, how do we react then? But I got some good experience in the squad. You know, Aaron Rowe, Sam Vokes, both training today, which is great. So you know, hopefully at least one will make the trip on Saturday. We've got to make sure that we're competitive in these games. You know, that's the big thing in League Two. It's tight games. You know, you don't blow teams away just for the sake of it. Everyone's trying to stop everyone else playing, and we've got to go up there and be really confident that we can do that. And yeah, I've got some good selection headaches again. 1 or 2 we'll have to look at the legs, pick them up. You know, Shad obviously came off the other night. We'll have to look where he is. And Connor obviously from coming off at the weekend, so I'm sure we'll get updates, you know, soon, and you know, everyone will find out where they're going to be. But yeah, really looking forward to getting on the road with a good group of boys, confident group of boys, trying to bring the points back from Prenton Park.
Just had Josh Andrews in here, smiling ear to ear. He's had his injury issues, of course, and he's been frustrated. In terms of attitude and psychologically, how impressed have you been by Josh?
Yeah,
that he's kind of kept himself on the even keel.
Brilliant. He's been superb since I walked in. You know, he really has. I could see the frustration in him last year. I could see almost the pain in him, in his heart rather than his body. Last year, you know, he really wanted to contribute, and he was at his wit's ends with injury. You know, and I looked at his record, and for 2 years he's really struggled. You know, and 18 months at least, and it's not nice for anyone. I've been there, so I can understand that side of things, and I think that's a strength of mine, where I've got the empathy to know where he's been, to find out ways of making him confident again, making him believe again, telling him that he's got to be patient. You know, bringing him on for 10 minutes against Port Vale last game of the season, I think really was the right thing to do, because he went into the summer thinking, I've played some minutes, I've got back, so that was a very important decision to get him on there. But he's blossoming now. You know, he's really coming forward as one of the big influences of the game. And when he came on the other night, I thought he made a huge impact. You know, having said that, you know, Marcus, Joe, and Romeo, you know, on that front line played really well, chased and harried, and we've created quite a lot of good chances in the first half. People won't remember; they'll all remember the second half and how powerful we were there. But it was quite a good performance if you watch it back and you see some real guile and some real good play. One mistake really has led to their goal, and there's not many mistakes that we made in the game. And then second half, as I said, how we haven't won that game is incredible. But you sort of have an honourable exit out of the cup, and we couldn't do any more. We tried to win it and go through. What it will do is reduces the fixture congestion, which is the only positive in it. We don't have that Tuesday game now coming up. Perhaps give me time to refresh some of the legs again. But I would have loved to. I think they got Reading, did they? So it would have been a great trip to go into the next round. And Grimsby end up with Man United and things like that. It's brilliant that second round, and especially the third round. So good luck to those boys. We've got to focus now really on this league campaign. We have the League Cup, the League Trophy, so in the FA Cup, obviously big. I want to do well in both of them, but this league campaign now for me is that journey that I talked about, that momentum change at this football club. You talk about it in the team. I want to talk about it in the whole club. We need to change momentum for the last 3 years, and I think the signs are there that it's starting. Let's hope we can get a good result Saturday and we can keep this going.
Lovely. Gaffer, thank you. Ben, all yours.
Gareth, just to touch on Tranmere, because I think Andy Crosby got a permanent job maybe a week or two before you came here. So back into last season, I guess you were both in a similar place. The two of you sort of managed to see an upturn in form in your respective sides, and have carried that on a bit. Yeah,
and you got to respect Andy. We both came into sort of, let's be honest, relegation battles. Both teams could have got out of the league, and so we were probably Tranmere were in a worse position than us, but we both battled, turned around really quick what we wanted to do. But I think he's been very smart in the summer as well, these signings, and he has this identity now. I've watched him a couple of times how they play, and he's had some, obviously at Port Vale, and he's been an assistant obviously to Nigel Atkins for quite a while, and so he's done the stripes. He knows what to do as a manager, and I'm very wary that he's going to be a very good, solid team that we're going to have to break down, and also watch what their strengths are, because they've scored 4 goals at weekend, and he's going to be very happy with the attacking prowess of his team. Although Shrewsbury had a man sent off, I think you've got to respect what they did before that. We've watched that, and I think they're a very strong, forward-thinking team.
They also get good home crowds, don't they? They've got that big cop stand at Frampton Park, and in your playing days, they were up in the second tier and were flying a lot higher as a club, weren't they? Played
against them, many times in the Championship and in League One, and they had some great cup runs. They've had some big players play for them, so they've got a history. And obviously myself being a Northwest boy, we have so many teams in such a close, concentration, and Tranmere is one of those, and they've always been sort of a mainstay of my career going forward. People probably look at them now, younger people, thinking they're a League Two side, and believe me, they were a big, powerful League One side. I think they quarterfinals or even semis of the cup once upon a time. With Dave Shallen as long throw, and it was Allison up front. It was, great days. But we go there very wary. It's away from home, and I always want to be solid and organised away from home. I know we'll travel well with the fans and they'll get behind us, but it can be an intimidating place, so we've got to make sure they don't get on the front foot.
Like you say, you want to just keep the momentum rolling from your side's point.
Yeah, of course, momentum's huge. It really is in football, but also is getting back on the horse when you have a little fall. That's important. That's what good managers do, and I'll make sure that my boys are ready to bounce back up as soon as anything happens.
I guess the way you came across after the game on Tuesday would have been a similar way you spoke to the players. They won't have felt like it was a defeat really after the game.
No chance. There's only one team going to score extra time. We think we'd have been through in the cup, which would have been great. But we have to take it on the chin. We made a mistake in the first half that led to a goal, easily rectifiable. No team is carving us apart at the moment. Nobody's chance after chance after chance. For me, that's really positive, and we were the ones creating a lot of chances towards the end there. So I'm really, really buoyed about that performance. But I've got the boys. I'm proud of them. They know that, and I'll stick up for every single one of them.
You're just talking about your selection headaches. Josh Andrews has done well off the bench so far this season. Is he fitness-wise in a place where you could potentially start him?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. They all are now. Everyone's fit enough to start a game. Even the two that have trained, Sam Vokes and Aaron Rowe, I'll have to bring them into consideration now. So I can't wait till Seb Palmer-Holding returns, and that's going to be very soon. And then we've got Ewan Williams with the long-termers, and we'll have to look at Connor. But it's great to have these players fit to start. I'm tossing and turning at night thinking about the team sometimes and who's going to do well and who has the attributes to what I want to do. And I'm sure whoever I pick, they'll get out there and give it everything.
Just on the two strikers that you obviously brought in the summer, similar to perhaps Josh Andrews when he first came in and had an injury and couldn't get out there straight away. Those two must be desperate to get back fit.
The only difference is I don't think it'll take him 18 months. Both of them, Vokes is out there training, knows his body. Very, very good striker. Scored a lot of goals at a high level. And Seb, his endeavour and his willingness to work is something special, and he's going to create chances for himself as well as help the team immensely when he gets in. But I mean, with Josh and Elliot Nevitt, Marcus Wiley, you've got three strikers there who will work their socks off, who will change games, and hopefully will score goals. So frustrating for the boys and the fans, because I brought the two players in and both picked up niggles. But that's football sometimes, and like I say, the transfer window's not over yet. We still want to try and bring one more in at least, and whether that will be for Saturday, we'll wait and see.
And like you say, fans will be desperate to see those new guys in action, as they probably will with Aaron Rowe after the way that he kind of ended last season and what he can potentially bring to the team.
Yeah, listen, I know I signed only 3 new faces in the summer, but I consider Ethan Coleman, Josh Andrews, new signings, because they are new players for me in the system we're playing and these seasons they had last year. So we had some real bad injury sort of campaigns last year, with reoccurrences and out for a long time. I'm really pleased that the medical team and the sports scientists, they've done a brilliant job so far. We're checking now, we're trying to see things happen before they happen and trying to take aversive action. But no, we're in a good place, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the league now.
And does Aaron Rowe bring something that you maybe don't have in the kind of forward midfield options?
They're all their own piece of the jigsaw, and he's definitely a slightly different piece to many more. But he'll bring as long as he brings the buy-in to the team, which I know he will. He's got his little glossy bits that he can produce. He's a very good player, both-footed, makes things happen. It'd be great to have Aaron and Vokesy both back.
And Jack Nolan not part of the group at the moment. Is that something going forward that he's not going to be part of your plans?
No, we've spoken some about Jack. Yeah, Jack knows where he is, and obviously the boys fit at the moment are just ahead of him. I wanted to give some experience to the young boys on Tuesday night as well. The 2 young ones who I think have been shining in the under-18s, and Jack's okay. Jack's in hopefully a decent enough place. I think he's got a baby due very soon as well. So Jack's still a Gillingham player, and going forward as far as he is, then he's in contention.
Just one slightly random question, because Ethan Coleman was asked on Tuesday night about the kind of travels up to some of the along away trips and who's in charge of the playlist, and he said that there's one song that you like to play kind of at the end of a bus journey or at the end of a team meeting, perhaps in the change room, and he said it was a good track, but he didn't know what the track was. So thought I'd ask what musical influence you are bringing.
I'm trying to educate these boys. I've got a couple of favourites, but my run-out song has always been the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. So it's got a cool beat to it, and most teams play it anyway when teams run out. So I think we can make that our song. Then teams might be doing themselves in by playing that. So we enjoy. I enjoy the boys' music. I don't know what the hell it is, and never want to get into it, but. It's a bit of noise, and then my song comes on. It gives me that one song on a match day and after a trip. But they're a great bunch, honestly. If I can educate them on football, great. If I can get any music taste into them, then that's a bonus. But at the moment, I think I'm fighting a losing battle there.
Well, thanks for that.
Cheers.
Best of luck Saturday.
Thank you.
One song.
Listen, step by step. All right, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Impressed were you on Tuesday after making all the changes, reaction you got from the players who came in?
Yeah, honestly, the 3 midfielders turned round, which was great. The forwards, there wasn't a drop off, and that's brilliant to see as a manager. You're looking at it thinking, right, I'm a bit worried about that one. I wasn't worried about anyone. And then when we changed sort of back to some of the starters from Saturday that came in, again, it posed different problems to Wimbledon, and I think we've got two really different ways of playing. I'm not going to give them away, obviously, but we work on them in training, and there's a sort of a plan A and a plan B, and it's nice to have that. You know, I think teams should have that. My teams have always had that, and it was nice to see. And yeah, I thought the subs made an impact, but the starters, there was definitely no downturn in form.
Well, you said week after week it's still a work in progress. I guess it's getting closer to where you want to be.
Yeah, you know, it's always going to be a work. You're always working as a manager. You never stand still. But there was a lot to do when I came in, a hell of a lot to do. And I'd say if we were zero, we're talking percentages. If we were zero when I came in, we're probably 60-70% now of what I want to see, and then there's some more to add, which will be great. But you're always working. You never get to 100% anyway, but you can keep striving for as close as you can. But a lot of it was mental stuff, and togetherness and team stuff. A lot of that I think has gone missing, because when things go wrong, they're the biggest cracks that show at times, and you've got to make sure that they are solid, because things will go wrong and you've got to accept that. And I think that we've come in and we're a different type of management team. We manage differently to a lot of people. Everyone's got their way. Mine's definitely not the top way. I think Alex Ferguson in the 90s is probably the closest you'll get to the top way, but we are really proud of how we treat our players and what we do, and how we have coping strategies for everything that comes. So yeah, we've done a lot of work, and there's loads more to come, but we're happy.
You said you saw get someone in before in the transfer window. Is that dependent on anyone going out? Or?
No, we're going to try and get someone in anyway, and we've been working on that hard. But right place, right time, right money, right want to be here. That all these things come into it. I know that this club has come a cropper of just going out and buying willy-nilly sometimes, and it's not worked, and it's not fair. It's not the right thing to do, and it doesn't build a team. It almost papers cracks, and I'm not that kind of manager. I'll build a team, and it's got to be the right person to come in, and believe me, we will get it right. I'm really happy where we are, but I think one more to add a little bit more gloss to the finishing touches sometimes would be important. But no, we're quite solid. We look like we're going to score, and that's been an issue for this club. And I really want to make sure that the fans believe it as well, and all the players believe that we're going to create chances and score goals.
Do you think does the fact that Tranmere didn't play this midweek after all affect what are you thinking, sir?
Yeah, it comes into it. Obviously, they're going to be fresh. They didn't have a game midweek. They don't need to use their floodlights during the Saturday afternoon, so we know the game will be in no jeopardy. I don't know what happened there, but obviously I think there was one in the non-leagues as well, the floodlight failure. So it happens, one of those things. Let's hope it's not looking forward and things to come of the world, because we don't want to be running out of power. They're great. It just happens. These things happen. I think they warmed up. I think they got their team sheets in, and I think there was just a failure. So they probably had some disruption, but didn't have the 90-minute legs. Yeah, these things happen. So we just have to deal with that.
And a better trip up to Tranmere today. What happened?
Sorry.
A better trip.
Listen, I might just set off that tiny bit earlier. I'm getting used to this bridge. I should think after 3 months or 4 months I'd be used to it by now, but I don't come in that way. But on Fridays we definitely go up that way, and I think it might be a little bit of an earlier start for the boys, so get ready for that. We'll get up there, and we'll prepare right as we always do. But I want to bring back the points. I'll never go for anything less than the win. Anything else is a bonus.
Thank you.
Cheers.